Grand Rising Navigators, I hope you're absolutely doing well. Rabbit, happy February 1st. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. We're finally moving into this energy about what is it to live? What is it to be alive? Because, I mean, after the last few years, it has been what can we do to survive, right? What do we do to get day to day? What do we do just to keep our sanity, right? So this whole idea of new adventures, new beginnings, transformation, and actually being successful at it and actually feeling it has really been off our radars. It seems like it's been something that we've been chasing down for years now as a collective. And it's so amazing to see how many people have come together in the spiritual realm. And granted, not everybody's going to cross that finish line because it is a challenge, as you know, to whether you look at it as a spiritual uh, way of looking into yourself in life, or whether you just look at it as life and living, to look inside of yourself and admit to yourself who you are, to accept yourself, is the greatest gift, but it is also one of the biggest challenges you will ever experience in life. It's no joke. Dark Night of the Soul, if you do not know what Dark Night of the Soul is, I highly recommend looking it up. I feel like the collective has experienced Dark Night of the Soul for the last 2 years. This has been really getting rid of those old ideas, those old boundaries, those old restrictions, and just the whole idea of what it's been for the last 100 years. So this is, or more so 80 years. We're moving in, like I've been saying, we're moving into new cycles. If you think about a clock and you think of all the gears spinning differently, it takes quite some time for them all to line back up together. And to me, this is my view on the energies. Not so much the astrology, but the energies. The astrology as well backs it up as we're changing many cycles. We have been changing many cycles as far as like we've got Pluto that's going to be dipping its toe back into Aquarius here in March, which is such a cool energy. It is, depending on what side you are on it, everything is about perspective. When you learn that everything is about perspective, I should say, when I learned that everything is about perspective, I was able to stop and look at each individual situation as it occurred in the moment and say, wait, what side of this am I standing on? Because if I started feeling a bad energy and it started making me feel ugh to me, then I knew maybe I wasn't quite looking at it right. Maybe there was a different way, a different angle that I could maybe remove myself, step out of the situation and view it from. And it took a lot, and I'm far from perfect at it or anything in life. The one thing I'm really good at is connecting to spirit, connecting to source, channeling through those messages. That is something that I really don't have the confidence even doing it face to face, in person, on personal reads. Moving from that to doing it online and doing it, through Zoom calls and meetings and whatnot. It was a challenge, but it took me so long to accept that part and find my confidence in that, because it's not a doctor, it's not a lawyer, it's not even, I had more confidence when I was a tire technician. you know what I and I'm only 5'1", barely. So finding that's what I mean by accepting yourself, finding your confidence, and loving yourself, and highlighting and shining, illuminating those parts of yourself, and bringing that side of yourself to the collective, because there is something there that you have a purpose, a purpose in life. And when you find that purpose, some people will search their whole life for their purpose. But the issue is that sometimes we get this ego type human type ego thing going on, right? Where we get really 3D about it, and we get an idea in our head of this is what we're meant to do. And even when we go and we do it, we think we know best, it seems like nothing works out. Yet we force ourselves to continue to do that. in the end, don't feel like you've accomplished anything, still feel empty, still feel the need to fulfill that part of yourself. Only if you don't step outside of the box and start figuring out what part of your life do you flow in. And these are the thing is that it's not, we've got to break away from this idea of the past, of this 9 to 5. I get it. It's a hard thing to do because we barely have we've barely dipped our toe in it. I'm so excited. My apologies for stumbling over my words. It's been a long few days. So I get where it is hard to kind of imagine that, but if you could just play around with that idea for a minute, just step out of reality for just a moment, safely, of course, make sure this is the end of your day and you're in a comfortable environment and you're completely safe, and just kind of tune out and just play around with the idea for a little bit of odd things that you like to do, just little talents you have that you really enjoy, and then start playing with those ideas and start building off of those, whether it could be painting. Start playing around with the idea of, okay, well, what do people need? What are people asking for and needing and desiring and wanting that might actually help them in any way, even if it's a small way, right? Just putting a smile on someone's face and making their day. You could make a painting, and just the conversation you guys had and the energy you put into it, when they walk by that painting, it could bring that smile and energy back out in them. It could change someone's whole entire day just by walking by a painting that has good energy. So you don't, so it doesn't necessarily have to be painting. I'm just saying, ouch, excuse me, is that I just got ink all over me. Okay, put that down. I was playing with my pen. So my whole point, I'm getting distracted. I wanted to just come and do a really short video because I did promise that I would try to have a video out every Wednesday for you, and I was late. I was later in the day last Wednesday, so I just wanted to come out and just say, go with it, flow with it. Remember, it's all about perspective. This week it's beautiful. I get such a comfortable energy from it, just such a needed. It's something that we've been lacking and needing. It's that refresher, that breath of fresh air that's just gonna come in and just kind of make you feel like everything's okay. Everything's gonna be just fine, and yeah, life is life. And sometimes it can bring us the shit. It's how we handle and react to it. So I will come to you with the astrology report here in the next day or so. I am really running behind, after about the 15th. I should be on time, no problems. But until then, kind of got my hands super full. But I cannot leave you guys hanging, and I love you all so much. I cherish you all so much. It's about building this community and sharing this energy, passing this energy along, right? Smiling at somebody, asking them how is their day? How's your day going? When you're checking out somewhere, it's amazing to me when I go to the grocery store and I just start talking to the cashier. It's like everybody just stops. Like, what is going on? Why is this person talking? Why is this person asking this person about their day? And it just blows my mind that people are just so disconnected from each other in society and our actual reality. But here online, everybody's up in each other's business. It cracks me up. Everybody really needs to sit down and meditate for like 30 days, you know what I mean? Like more morning, night, meditate, at least for 30 days. 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day for 30 days straight. Could you imagine what this world would be if everybody just took that 15 minutes a day to tune out and tune into themselves? Oh, man, 15 minutes a day could change the world. Really good. So this is what we're spreading. This is the message we're spreading. This is the energy we're spreading. We're excited. There's a beautiful new future ahead of all of you. And even though for many of you, for some of you especially, I definitely see it's building off of something that has already been created, but it was a caterpillar, and it's about to just come out and spread those wings and fly. It's, like this total upgrade, and more so to where it becomes your own versus group project, which is so backwards, because Aquarius season really is about this group project and this group energy. However, finding that place where you feel your energy flow is truly the key to it all. And then, it's Aquarius season though, so group activities are super important. Society is important, but I do feel that February is about really getting your feet on the ground and situated, solid. And then that's when we find that group activity. The group energy comes in more in March, is what I'm feeling. It's just me personally. But it's Aquarius season right now, so we're going to be moving into Pisces here soon. So, yeah, this is exciting. It's like that spring energy just kind of came early. Even though it's definitely not spring outside. It was negative 35 here yesterday where I live. They called schools. All the schools closed. It's just crazy, because there's not a small amount of people that they're calling day off for, from high schools to elementaries to all of it in between. It was negative 35 and unsafe for anyone to ride a bus or do any of that kind of stuff, or even just keep the schools heated. So yep, they said if your child's getting frostbite, it's on your watch. Is what they said. So kids, they can't help it. You gotta go out and stick their tongue to some metal. Okay, I love you all. I'm just gonna ramble and babble because I'm so tired, but today was just as hectic as it could have been. It was just such a chill, relaxed all day. And every single one of my kids came home from work and said the exact same thing. They're like, it was just such a quiet, chill day. Just a chill day. Right on. But we had one itty bitty little Chiron was playing around today, and that was about it. So, and we got this Chiron energy again tomorrow, February 1st. So it is. I feel like it's the wounded healer rising up again. It's almost, it's the story of when Chiron was wounded by Hercules, by a poisonous arrow, and Hercules was his favorite disciple. It was a heartbreaking thing because they cared. The story goes that the arrow wasn't meant for Chiron. So anyways, Chiron ended up giving up his immortality because he could not die, but yet Hercules' arrow continuously poisoned him, so he was continuously ill, sick, and just and tormented. So he gave up his immortality so that he could pass on. And so he went to the underworld. And Zeus had so much Well, Zeus, it is Zeus. Had so much uh, compassion and just shocked by what he had done. So he raised him back up to the heavens. Somewhere I feel like I have that story wrong, but I don't. Perhaps. Zeus just doesn't sound. Zeus doesn't sound right for. Maybe. Yeah, but it is a Zeus. Okay, so I'm rambling. I love y'all. So much love. And I will be back tomorrow, rested and ready to give a very much more. Can't even talk straight. An accurate astrology report. You know, I do so much better with the energy, though, really. The energies are just great. I love it. And no matter what the astrology says sometimes, is the astrology always backs up what I'm feeling with the energies. There's been very few times that I have given or just even, tapped in and felt what I feel coming for the energies, and the astrology will not match it. And that's where I've learned I have to go with my gut. I have to go with my gut, because the astrology doesn't necessarily always affect us in the same way. We could all be hit by the same transits, and it could play out in a different way, because again, it comes down to perspective. How do you handle it? How do you react to it? Because in the end, there is a shadow and light side to everything, including the astrology. Even the aspects, with every aspect, with the hard aspects in which is, how the like, if we've got the moon and, I don't know, say the sun and Uranus opposing, if you've got these two energies opposing, they're at difficulties with each other. This isn't an energy that flows. They're opposites at that point, and you can take that with any of the planets. But even in that, there is still a shadow and a light side to how you can handle it. And that's the best part about astrology, is when you tap in, when you read this and you learn this, it's knowledge all over the internet. When you start reading into this stuff, it will help you to learn and understand, okay, so this is what I have coming towards me. This is the advice of how to get through it. And if you really do stick to that advice, I've found that it's amazing. You almost don't realize that the transit happened, even though could have been someone else next to you could go through it, completely oblivious to what's going on in their life, astrology wise, and because they don't know, they fall right into the emotions of it and end up having the worst time of their life. It's one of those memories, that those periods of their life that just stick out in such a rotten way, versus a time of transformation and beauty, and lessons learned. So there's always a shadow and light side to everything, and really I feel like that's what February is all about. You'll find your place, and at the end of the day, at the end of the week, check in with yourself. Did you have a more negative or a more positive week? Did the week seem to flow, or did it seem like you were up against a wall and everything? So that's going to be your determining factor. That's going to be your meter, your personal meter. If you feel like you're just swimming upstream, then there's something that needs to be reevaluated. So, and I highly recommend, just checking on your own meter, because I can't tell you. No one else can tell you. You are the only person at the end of the day that can check in on yourself in the way that needs to be felt, deep, honest, open, and change or do or decide or react some sort of way about it. Right? Yes, we find inspiration in other people, and that's beautiful. It's amazing, and it's a blessing to have other people in our lives that bring that out in us and help us through those times. But again, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to look in the mirror and be okay with the decisions you made and the person you are. So when we find that perspective of, and that that acceptance with, we chose to be here, and the things that are coming my way are meant to come my way. Now, how am I going to move through those things? How am I going to handle and react? And at the end of the day, how you do so will make all the bit of a difference. And I wish you the best. Life is an adventure, and it really is time that we start getting back to living that adventure, right? I truly believe it. It's time, man. I'm so excited. Much love.